Hey folks, it's BestInSlot. Welcome back to our mod spotlight series for Jurassic World Evolution. In the last video, we took a look at 17 brand new prehistoric species, and I said, that's too many, we'll make sure we do less next time. So today we're going to look at 21 new prehistoric species. You can see I've got a new park here. I split them up into different categories like small and medium carnivores and big carnivores and hybrids and herbivores and non-dinosaurs and aquatic. I think those are the 6 that we're working with today. And I can't really keep on talking. We have to be very snappy. Many dinosaurs to go. Let's get started. We're going to start off down here at the bottom with our small carnivore, medium carnivore, small medium carnivore though section, and let's click a dinosaur. This one. First up on the list is Eoraptor, made by Tiny Gamer 2003 and Gorgon 1112. What happened to the other Gorgons? Nobody will know. Anyways, Eoraptor, this is part of a really cool pack, the South America pack, which includes this and 2 other dinosaurs we'll see later on in the video, of course, one of them very soon. Yeah, nice looking Eoraptor. We have to kind of freeze it. It's kind of hard to see from a distance, really, but looks great. Really like the skin patterning here, that sort of grey clashing really nicely with the pink and the red. Not much else to say. Can't talk. Let's move on. Oh, shout out that they called it Eoraptor lunensis. We did already have an Eoraptor. Now we can have 2. And 2 is a bigger number than 1 and therefore better. Next up on the list is Coelophysis WWD by Tony and Games. Worth noting that Tony and Games made about half the dinosaurs in this bloody video. Tony needs to calm down. Anyways, one of the more prominent creatures, I would say, in Walking with Dinosaurs. If you've watched the series, I think this is one of the first dinosaurs you would think of. That distinctive striping and skin patterning screams Walking with Dinosaurs, and it's been brought to life really, really nicely here. And it's actually our first Coelophysis, as far as I'm aware, so yeah, really, it works really well. It's beautiful. It's really cool to have that Walking with Dinosaurs dinosaur. Walking with Dinosaurs dinosaur in the game. I've got to be quicker than this. Next up on the list is, well, you're in there, so let's go for the Mononycus, yet another teeny tiny dinosaur, which makes it difficult to do for YouTube. Stay. Nope, I missed it. Stay. Okay, so Mononycus by Tony and Games, but I do really like this. Oh, you're in a terrible position, buddy. There we go. So this little Mononycus is, I really like it. It's got this feathered looking body. It kind of looks like a chicken. It's got the brown feathering, the red head sort of area. It's even got some little splayed out feathers there at the tail. It's quite hard to get a lot of detail in the dinosaurs that are this tiny, you know, the compy rigs, but it does genuinely look feathered, which is really cool. Following on from that, we have one of my absolute favourites. Out of all the dinosaurs we're going to see today, this is potentially my top 1 or 2. This is a Microceratus by Hyper SYT. I may have missed a letter off there, and I apologise if I did. Oh, as per usual, you can download all these mods. There's a list in the description down below, and all of them are listed on that list. That's the point of a list. So, why do I like this so much? Well, Microceratus is a weirdo dinosaur, basically. And as you can see, the thing that makes Microceratus so unusual is that the jaw kind of droops forward at the front, and the teeth kind of splay out and forwards, and it's very, very bizarre looking, but beautifully represented here. Really, really cool. Realistic looking, and yet has still that lovely burst of colour. One of my favourites. Super strange dinosaur, and really well made. Definitely go check it out. I've not heard of Hyper SYT before, but this is promising work right here. A+. Next up on the list, we're going to check out Sejisaurus, made by Sweetener. And this is a really cool little dinosaur, because Sejisaurus has been part of the Jurassic Park franchise since the very beginning, but for some reason this little carnivore just never quite made it onto the screen, or never quite made it properly into the games. You know, it's been popping up here and there, but it's never had a proper appearance. And given it is actually a basal part of Jurassic Park franchise lore, that's a bit of a shame. But thanks to Sweetener, it has now made its appearance on your screen right now with your eyeballs. There it is. Looks great. Nice patterning. I like the counter shading isn't just white, it's green. It mixes things up a little bit. It's squeaking around. Feeling there are no Hadrosaurid dinosaurs today, I've just realised. What a weird world we live in. Right, next up on the list is, bloody hell, who knows? Ragisaurus. There we go. Ragisaurus, made by Demon D Sniper 2. This little Abelosaurid, meaning it's from the same sort of group as Carnotaurus, Majungasaurus, and as you can see, Majungasaurus is what it's based off. Has the teeny little arms, it's wearing its face mask, you know, in the middle of a pandemic. Really vibrant, interesting coloration, and a massive horn on the head. Now, I think the coloration will turn a lot of people off. I don't like the face mask, I'll say that much, but I love the colouring on the body. I think it's very, very cool. And I like it when people push the boat out a little bit more and go get a little crazy with their dinosaurs, you know? And the second part of that South American dinosaur pack I mentioned earlier is Thanos. So again, made by Tiny Gamer 2003 and Gorgon 1112. Thanos is Thanos, named for Thanos, oddly enough. And he's not big and purple, but he's pretty cool. He's got those tiny little arms. He's hiding in the tree line, being a pain in the ass. But yeah, there's Thanos, folks. I don't have... Why are you lit up so much? That's very peculiar. Anyways, that is it for the small and medium carnivores, the biggest of the groups we're going to look at today. We're now going to move on to the large carnivores, which rather predictably are the second biggest group. So, we're going to swing by the north, and the first on the list is the beautiful, absolutely beautiful, Torvasaurus by Jagged Fang Designs. Now, you may be thinking, but BestInSlot, you madman, you already covered a Jagged Fang's design, Torvasaurus, and I did indeed. That was an old one, actually made for Jurassic Park Operation Genesis originally. And I think they got commissioned for a new one and they brought it out. Now they don't work together, because that would be pointless. But so this is basically replaced the one you saw in the last video, and it is beautiful. I feel like I shouldn't have to say that because it kind of goes without saying, but it's really good looking. This skin pattern is awesome. It's super busy, but really nice and distinct at the same time. I love this little gaggle of white around the neck, and I can't talk about it too much because I have to move on, but it's very, very pretty and everyone should go download it, okay? And I'm not talking about Torvasaurus anymore. I've done like 4 videos on bloody Torvasaurus. Next up we have our second Ostat Fracasaurus, which is, you know, a dinosaur we don't know too much about. Anyway, this is made by Aquaristic Tip and the skin by Game Videos for Life. I hesitated slightly with this one just because it is very, very, very similar to the basal Baryonyx, but there's a new skin in there. We've got the hump kind of coming in around the back, you know, the spinal elongation we're going to call it, and of course a little horn above the head as well, with a really interesting, distinct sort of curving backwards pattern. Still a little similar to the Barry, but at the end of the day, a lot of dinosaurs looked kind of similar to each other. It's kind of life, you know. Next up we have Megalosaurus, made by Tony and Games. This is a large English theropod predator, which makes it doubly cool. It was actually found, I believe only found so far, in Oxfordshire, which is literally up the road from me, so that's pretty cool. Hello, Megalosaurus, we are neighbours. And this I like, you know, this looks distinctive, it doesn't really... I actually don't know off the top of my head what the basal dinosaur is, which is a nice feeling. I like not knowing. Mystery, spice of life. And that's a really nice lead into our next dinosaur, I always mess this up. And that leads us nicely onto our next dinosaur. This is Teratophonious by Real Angry Gal. One of my favourite skin patterns in this whole selection. I think this looks really, really cool. Really like how that looks. The name, and I wrote this one down specifically, means monster murderer. I just thought that was awesome. Anyways, this is actually the dinosaur we see a carcass of in the trailer for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. It never made it into the actual film. It has now come back to life. It's here. It's made an appearance in your Jurassic Worlds. Final for our larger carnivores then is Irritator, made by Tiny Gamer 2003 and Gorgon 1112. This is the third and final part of that South American pack we talked about. I hope it's South American. I didn't actually write it down. I should have written it down. It's a really cool looking Irritator. We've got like a little dewlap going on here. The crest pushes out the back of the head. It's obviously the sort of crest above the eyes as well. It's got an orange mouth, which is cool. And of course we have a spinal ridge here at the back, which is moving slightly with the movement of the body. Yeah, fits in really nicely. Looks like an Irritator. Good job, you guys. It's also it needs to, you know, get a good meal down it. Bloody Nora. The third group today is a group of 4 herbivores, 3 of which were made by Tony and Games. And the first of those is Microceratus. This adorable little dinosaur was actually also part of the Jurassic Park canon for a long time. This was on the Jurassic World website, which is why it has this very, very shiny, colourful skin. This is what it looked like on the Jurassic World website, sort of. They were rumoured, or at least said to be by the DPG, on Isla Nublar. However, we saw none of them made it out in Fallen Kingdom, so we can assume, unfortunately, that the entire Microceratus population was wiped out during the events of Mount Sibo's eruption and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Which is a little depressing, because it's a super cute little dinosaur, and again, I really like these brighter, vivid skins when they work. Let's check out some of the other herbivores we have over here. Saurolophus, Tony and Games. This is a slightly bizarre looking Hadrosaurid with a crest so sharp it could kill several donkeys at once. From the front it looks a little bit more normal. From the side it looks like like an absolute lethal weapon. Got some really interesting ridges running down the spine, and actually the patterning is really interesting as well. I would have maybe liked a little bit more vibrancy around the head crest, but beyond that, the patterning's got this kind of feral cat kind of look to it. Also kind of like if you filled a sausage casing with like rubbish and water. You know, when water gets all that browny kind of murky... I should stop talking. When water goes all brown and murky and greyish, and you fill the sausage bag with that, it's kind of what it looked like. And I do mean that in a good way. It does. It's a really nice skin. Always cool to have herbivores, frankly. Next up is Ceratops, not made by Tony Games, actually made by... It's very hard to keep track of all these. Made by Ziffy with a lot of help from Tiny Gamer 2003. And it's just a really nice, beautiful Ceratopsid. Really, really like the frill. This kind of splaying out, this big dramatic pattern. That's what you look for with your Ceratopsids. You're looking for interesting horn formations. A couple of point and form ones there. Well, interesting, not super interesting. And then you're looking for the crest, and you want the crest to sing, and this crest does indeed sing. It's, you know, very unique amongst the other Ceratopsids in the game, which is always what we're looking for. Also love that ridging down the middle as well. Very cool. Finally, for our herbivores, we have one of the cutest, the fairly adorable little Protoceratops. How they got this working properly on what is originally a bipedal rig. This is a two-footed dinosaur rig we're basing this on. How this works like it does is absolutely beyond me. Utter bloody madness. Protoceratops is one of the more famous dinosaurs in a way that a lot of people know because, of course, that famous skeletal battle we have between the Velociraptor is against the Protoceratops, where the two are like locked into this death grip and it kind of got frozen in time. Look at him go. Run, Protoceratops, run. Yeah, this little guy, it's adorable. Okay, folks, we are near at the end. We're going to move on to the hybrids now. Both of these made by Allosaurus ankles. So let's check them out. They're a little bit odd. This one is my preferred of the two. This is Pentaceratops, which is clearly a carnivore of some description, I'm not quite sure which, and a Pentaceratops. Hence we have the Pentaceratops crest beyond the eyes. I actually really like the basal skin. I think this is really cool. The head looks like they're at a Kiss concert, and I'm not too big a fan, but the actual skin here, the orange fading into that black and white striping, is very, very cool looking. I just wish this was a little less intense, but having a Ceratopsid mix, I should say, for a carnivorous theropod is pretty cool. The other one is Ceratosaurus, which I believe is meant to be Ceratosaurus and Allosaurus. It's very similar to the Allosaurus, but the main difference really is, of course, the sort of nasal horn we have here at the front, just like the Cerato. And again, with the black and white striping and all that kind of jazz. A little bit of it is meant to be from a snake, and of course we've seen several snakes with this kind of patterning on them, and that's why I would say, again, this part of the skin looks really nice. I'm not too convinced it all blends and meshes together. I think it looks like two dinosaurs kind of glued together, but you know, those of you who are into that, and you may be out there, this is the dinosaur for you. Right, we're going to head down to the aquatic coast for our two aquatic creatures. Number one is the Mosasaurus. Now, we won't spend too long on this. You've all seen this before, of course. This is Petito777's Mosasaurus, but it was made into a new species by Sky994, so both of them deserve some credit for getting this guy into the game. Lovely stuff. Little more exciting, because it is brand new, is the Elasmosaurus by Tony and Games. Let's check it out. The first Elasmosaurus we've had in the game. There it is. Don't quite know how it's functioning or moving, but it's doing its thing. With a very bright green underbelly. This Elasmosaurus has been swimming in something a little bit toxic. There we go. Looks 1,000 times better already. Just have it so it's just swimming just above or just below the waterline there. The long neck poking out the top. That neck there, we can take this back actually to our cryptid park and make an actual Loch Ness monster, which is really cool. Yeah, I really like this. It's really nice to just have these unique creatures that are just found nowhere else in the game, basically. I'm not convinced on the green, I'll be honest, but beyond that, really cool. Don't know how people manage to rig this stuff up. Final on our list then is the creature that you guys have been telling me to cover for bloody ages now, and we're finally going to do just that. It is Smilodon, made by Petito777. Now, I believe, unless I'm crazy, this was originally a Zoo Tycoon 2 mod, or something that's been kind of re-upped into Jurassic World Evolution. But I've got to say, the rig is fantastic. It works. What is that based on? for it? I have no idea. It looks really good. It's really, really effective. It's got that, the hunched up above the forelimbs, as you would expect. This part is the muscular part that pulls them forward, and then the speedy back legs. It's got that really cool Smilodon patterning. The tusks are there. It's tusks? What are we called? Tusks? The fangs are there. That's better. Yeah, it's really, really cool. It genuinely is pretty awesome looking. And this stuff blends into Jurassic World so well. There's no reason we can't have this in our games. Yeah, I can see why people were excited about this one. Definitely excited to use this in Pleistocene Park. I want to talk about that very briefly just to say I have not forgotten about it. It's just been a very busy week. We will have an episode of Pleistocene, I think probably next Monday, and we'll be doing a Smilodon habitat. I've got some pretty cool ideas for what we're going to do for that, so definitely come back and check that out. But, well, that is it from me, ladies and gentlemen, as I have to now go back and try to repopulate this entire park with all the other modded dinosaurs. To sum things up tonight, we have looked at Fracasaurus, Irritator, Megalosaurus, Teratophonious, Torvasaurus, Thanos, Eoraptor, Mononycus, Coelophysis, Microceratus, Sejisaurus, Ragisaurus. Pause for breath. Mosasaurus, Elasmosaurus, Saurolophus, Microceratus, Protoceratops, Avaceratops, Smilodon, Ceralosaurus, Bloody Nora, and Pentaceratops. There we go, that is your 21, I believe, brand new species. Definitely go check these out. They're all linked in the Google Doc down below, which you do not need to request access for. People keep doing it. You don't need to request access. You can go and check that out. There are a few dinosaurs that didn't quite make it onto the list. I think I might start being a little bit more picky going forward, just because we have so many dinosaurs, but I'm still not sure. I want to know what you guys think. Do you like these quick snapshot, here's 21 dinosaurs, or do you want me to pick the 5 best? I don't know how I feel. Still trying to decide. Either way, lots of really, really cool stuff here. Big shout out to all the mod makers involved. Big shout out in particular to Tony and Games for just putting in the work, to say the least, in these past weeks or so. And we'll end it there. If you enjoyed the video, please do hit the like button. Remember to subscribe for more mod spotlights. I'll see you lovely folks next time. Cheers much love as always. Bye-bye.
Reaching out.